We are speaking with the one and only Jeff Pilson, and he is here because it is time for me to announce and unveil my album of the year for 2020, the rock album of the year. Now, there's been a lot of great albums. Gothard has put out some great albums, and Whitesnake has done some re-releases, and great stuff. But in terms of all new original music, we have to go to this one. The one and only, whoop, you can't see it. There we go. The one and only Black Swan with Matt Starr on drums, Reb Beach on guitar, Jeff, of course, and the one and only Robin McAuley, who is, by far, one of the greatest singers in rock. He could sing the phone book and make it sound great. Yeah. Talk to me about this and a great rock record in 2020. What was the genesis of this? Did Foreigners just come to you and not Foreigner. Did Frontiers just come to you and say, make an album, or did you have this sort of percolating and went, hey?
No, it did start out with a conversation with Frontiers, Serafino, the president of the label. First of all, hello, and I'm really here because I love you, Mitch.
Sorry.
Album or whatever.
Anyways, what you don't know is that I'm doing 3 interviews today, so I'm in this whole coffee, it's coffee. I'm in a coffee funk. But yes, hold on. As we say in Montreal, bonjour, Jeff. Comment allez-vous?
Merci beaucoup. So Serafino from Frontiers, he basically hit me up after we finished the first M Machine record a couple years ago. And he said, well, try and do more of these, more super groups. And originally the plan was, and find something where you don't play bass, find something where, you're just producing a band. And I was like, great, love that idea. So I was about to go on tour with, Foreigner was about to go on tour with Whitesnake. So it made me think of Reb right away. And, Reb and I had such a tremendous writing chemistry when we were in Dokken together in the late 90s, and, have remained friends. So that was my first thought was Reb. And so when we got to the tour, I took him aside one day and I said, hey, what would you think about this? And he goes, well, would I get to write with you? I said, yes. And he goes, I'll do it. So knowing that we had that writing chemistry and everything together, I was like, okay, great. Now I move forward. The first guy I thought of was Robin, because number one, he's just incredible. And I think he's been underrated. I don't think people have gotten a chance to really see his range and abilities to their fullest extent. Of course, he does everything he does is great, but I really knew that he'd be able to deliver a heavier record than people are expecting, but a real melodic record. And that's what I wanted. And that's Reb's wheelhouse anyways. So once I had Reb and Robin, we started writing. I had an idea for who I wanted to play bass, and basically, to make a long story short, and he would have been great, but to make a long story short, once we started writing the songs and I was demoing the bass parts, both Reb and Robin were like, no, we got to keep these. And I was like, well, guys, we can, somebody else can do this. This is fine. They go, no, we got to do it. So they kind of pressured me into it, but with love. And I was really loving the direction of the music and how everything was going. And the chemistry was so undeniable between Reb, myself, and Robin that it was great. So once we kind of settled on that, then we looked around for the right drummer for a while. And it was Serafino who suggested Matt Starr, which I should have thought of because he lives in LA and I've known him forever and everything. So, but when he said Matt Starr, I was like, oh, yeah. So I called Matt. He was up for it. Unfortunately, all the vocals had been recorded by that point, or I would have loved to have brought him in on some of the background vocals. But we can do that for the next record. But Matt came in, laid down amazing drums, and we had a band and a record.
You had a great band. Now, of course, you were part of this band in a sense back on the MSG album in '91, right? The Macaulay Schenker group album of '91 with Kotak and yourself and Schenker.
Yep.
When you do this with Robin, are you thinking we need to go back to that time and create something that those fans are going to love? Or was this, no, we're making Black Swan. This is a new band, new music, no nod to the past. We're moving forward. How did you sort of approach that?
We approached it with really on a more organic level than that. Okay. To the degree that I think about, what fans are we going to appeal to? That does cross my mind, especially as a producer. You have to think about that to a degree. But because I knew Reb so well, and I knew what our writing chemistry was like, I knew that the music was going to be there anyways. I just knew that. That's what Reb does. He writes great music, and you don't have to tell Reb, think this, think that. That's what he does. So, having written the music, then I knew Robin was going to write some great stuff. He actually came through even more than I thought. He just really came through with some great inspired stuff, and we worked on it together, and it just ended up being what it was without even trying. It just really came together quickly and naturally. It was really all about, let's just make the best music we can, stuff that we personally like, and then from there, I judged it and I thought, I think fans really are going to like this. So it operated very smoothly and efficiently and organically.
And it turned out great. Listen, for me, best new rock album of 2020. And
I don't take that lightly, especially with a guy with a stack that high of CDs.
You see the CDs behind. I'm not showing it now, but I was showing it before. Yeah. But you know what? My phone's buzzing. That's got to stop. Going back to the album in '91, you did this song called "Never Ending Nightmare." Apologies for that. I should have turned off that phone earlier. That's a great song. Can you just give me a little something about that album, just real quick, and then we'll get back to Black Swan? Because when I hear "Never Ending Nightmare," and I've heard it literally like 50 times this summer, over the year, because I have this crazy UFO playlist going on. Anyway. What a great album. What a great song. Is that something you might want to revisit if you ever take Black Swan out on the road?
Very possibly. If we did, we would certainly do probably a couple MSG things. Very likely. So I haven't thought that far about specific songs.
Right.
But as far as the making of that 91 record, it was another process and that's really where I got to know Robin. I had met him a few years before that, but working with him on that record is where we really cemented not only a friendship, but a really strong working chemistry. And I was just so impressed with Robin because he would come in there and sing every day, every take, 100% every time. Just the guy he's a workhorse and he's a machine, but he's got a lot of heart. It's an amazing thing. Cause he's also a really deeply wonderful human being. He is exactly who he comes across to you that he is. That is who he is. He's a wonderful, loving man, and he's just a great person.
Well, I was just going to say this. I spoke to him about a week ago or 2 weeks ago, and he was telling me that Black Swan 2, you're going to start writing in January. Is that still the plan? And when do you see this coming out? And how much of this is really the guys writing it? And how much does Serafino and Frontiers come in and say, hey, Alessandro, or this guy's going to help out? Like, is it Black Swan, or is it sort of a composite, if you want?
Well, the only thing Alessandro does is mix the record.
Okay.
I know he did produce Robin's record that's going to be coming out at some point.
Can't wait.
Yeah, me too. But no, he just mixes. So we write and record everything ourselves. Absolutely. Not to say Alessandro couldn't. It's just that's not the.
No. Of course not.
And Serafino, Frontiers pretty much left us alone, and we sent them the finished record, and they were very, very happy. So I'm assuming that's what's going to happen this time. They don't usually get all that involved before the record's done, kind of thing.
Gotcha.
So yeah, it'll be done internally. Is that the plan? Yes, the plan is. Last Reb and I spoke, he was going to come out here and start writing sometime in January. Because in February, I know he's going to do the whole month writing with Kip Winger. So I'm going to try and start writing with him in January. I'm sure Black Swan, I don't think it will come out till 2022. But we'll get a start on it. And, we want to make another great record. So, however long it takes.
In terms of the material, though, because you just said he's going to go out right with Kip, how do you and him decide this is, a Jeff song, this is a whatever Foreigner song, this is a Winger song. Like, how do you know which ones fit for Black Swan?
You just go by your instincts. I mean, generally what happens is Reb will show up here with 10 little pieces, maybe they're a riff and a chorus, or, sometimes they're more complete than others. They tend to be just a couple of rough ideas. And sometimes we morph two different ideas together. There's also, he kind of lets me be the objective ear on that. And so I listen to what he's got, and generally he has a good sense of what would fit into Black Swan. And sometimes I surprise him with, no, that's really cool, that kind of thing. So he'll bring some ideas, and we'll say, okay, those are good. Let's make a song around that. So then we start building the song, instrumentally. And it's just a process we do we're very much on the same wavelength. So, and it's not a struggle at all. There's never no, I think this really should be a Black Swan song, and no, it shouldn't. There's none of that. It's we both pretty much agree or disagree, or we agree, that's not right. We're very much on the same wavelength.
Yeah, well, listen, it turned out great. Now, you also had the End Machine, which was certainly top 5 great rock records of 2019. The next End Machine is in the process. My understanding is that Mick Brown is fully retired, and that Steve or his brother is coming in, Steve Brown, or...
That's correct. Actually, the record is done. It's mixed and mastered.
Okay, but it's his brother or is it son?
No, it's his brother. It's his brother, okay. Steve came in and just killed it on the drums.
Right.
And we got him singing some background vocals too. Steve is amazing. It was such a perfect fit. I can't even begin to tell you. I've known Steve since he was 15 years old. So it was very cool getting him, in the band. Mick is very excited that his brother's doing it.
Yeah.
But he just came in, and I was amazed at how he captures Mick's vibe. It was just insane. I mean, the few people I played it for have all said the same thing. Like, wow, that really feels like Mick, So I'm very excited about the record. It came out fabulous. I'm hoping it'll be your record for 2021.
Well, I'm hoping too. I mean, it's George Lynch, it's Jeff Pilson, Steve Brown, not the guy from Trickster, the Mick Brown's brother, and of course Robert Mason.
By the way, the first time I called Steve, I accidentally called Steve Brown from Trickster because I had Steve Brown. So now
we love
Steve,
both.
And Steve Brown mix bro.
we love both, but now, okay, you don't have Robin McCauley on this. You've got Robert Mason. I mean,
right.
Do you know how blessed you are? You work with Kelly Hansen, Robin McCauley, and Robert Mason, like 3 of the greatest vocalists out there on the road.
Ronnie James Dio, so I mean...
No, but I'm talking currently, like 2020. I mean, obviously Ronnie James, but if you look at from like 2015 to 2020, who are the best vocalists that are touring or playing shows at the Rock Vault?
Yeah.
You're working with 3 of them.
No, listen, I do understand how lucky I am in that. And, of course, that's very purposeful. We try to get good people, but yeah, no, we're very lucky, and I'm very aware of that. Listen, we're just trying to make the best music possible, and you got to have a great singer. So, it's kind of a no-brainer, and yes, we're fortunate. And the good thing is all these guys really, really deliver. So, yes, I'm fortunate, but that's part of the music process, and I'm glad I'm doing it.
Do you take that into consideration, though, when you're writing, saying, okay, this is a vocal that Robin can handle, this is a vocal that Robert can handle?
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I mean, when you're writing the instrumental bed before the vocal, you don't want to have a preconceived notion of what the melody should be, unless sometimes you do. Sometimes, I hear a specific melody, or even Reb, we'll hear a melody and we, might go with that. But as a rule, you just kind of you use your imagination. Does this seem like something Robin could really sink his teeth into? And you go by that.
Yeah, and I'll wrap up with these 2 things here. First, I'll go to Foreigner. You started selling stuff online for the road crew, which I thought was phenomenal. What was it? KTLA or something did a report on it.
Yeah.
Absolutely brilliant, absolutely wonderful, and absolutely needed.
Yeah.
Just talk to me about that. And yes, it's affected you, and yes, it's affected Kelly, and yes, Mick. But when you look at Chris or at Greg, it's affected them even more. So talk to me about the importance of being a family and not just saying, "Oh, these are my road guys," but we're a family.
Right. Well, of course, the music industry has pretty much collapsed, and so yeah, musicians are out of work. However, I'm able to do things like recording, and honestly, on a money level, the recording stuff is nowhere. It doesn't even compare to what the live stuff makes, but at least it's something. And I'm okay. I don't have to worry about that. But our crew, that's what they do. They are the best at what they do, and because of that, they don't have others. I mean, they're all kind of doing whatever they can right now, but this is their area of specialty, and they have families, and their whole industry just collapsed. It's not like there's other tours they can jump onto because everybody's off the road right now. And so we felt it was our obligation and desire to help these guys, in any way we can to weather through this tough period. So we've got this online auction where we're selling all sorts of stuff. For instance, there's a Breedlove guitar that I will sign to whoever wins the auction. It's a beautiful playing guitar, wonderful instrument. So there's that. There's all sorts of other little things. Plus, there's packages that we've put together that people can buy that have, vintage T-shirts and foreigner face masks and all sorts of other cool stuff. And listen, it's all for a great cause. And that's the thing is, you're right, we're family. And this is what families do. We stand up for one another. So if you can, I know a lot of people are having a hard time right now, but if you can, please donate or do whatever you can, and it's to a great cause, and we sincerely appreciate it.
Where do they go for that? What's the best way?
Foreigneronline.com.
Foreigneronline.com. And I'll ask you this, and then I'll ask you one last question about heavy hitters. But are you concerned that some of these folks are going? Because I know some of your crew is working in other things right now. Mm-hmm. Do you think that the industry is going to lose a lot of people who are just going to say, you know what, I'm not coming back. I've got this new job. I have to protect my family. I'm not risking. Like, are we going to lose a lot of good people?
I'm sure there'll be some of that. I think a lot of the people, they love it with a passion as well. So they will try and return. But yeah, there's going to be cases of people that can't come back. Sure.
It's anyway, hopefully we can get back to touring soon. Safely. And
I think I have a feeling by summer we'll be getting close, if not back to normal.
I'm hoping to. I know the head of CAA said he thinks fall 2021 is going to be full 100%. Let's go. So.
Right. That's why I think this summer is kind of going to be the sorting period. I know Foreigner's actually doing a show.
Yes.
The end of March, outdoors in a special venue that's set up for social distancing and everything. Hopefully that'll go well, and hopefully that'll be a harbinger of things to come, and we can continue this through the spring.
I hope so, and hopefully, because I know you're doing that. It's in a winery or something like that, if I remember what I read. Anyway, but
I'm not sure.
And then of course we'll finish. Heavy Hitters came out recently with you and George doing a whole bunch of covers.
Yep.
And you look at it and you look at the title, you say Heavy Hitters, you think it's going to be Dio and Schenker, but it's Duran Duran and it's Oasis and all these other things. And I like the Duran Duran cover. I like Duran. People always go, oh, you can't be a metalhead and like Duran. Yeah, they're one of the greatest pop bands ever. Their harmonies,
a great song is a great song. Come on.
Yes.
And the whole idea, the hit behind Heavy Hitters was that all these songs were hit songs. And, we're just doing our take on hit songs. We're having fun with it. It's really about that innocent and about that easy, simple. And we just wanted to take great songs, interpret them in a way that we felt was honest and we felt strongly about. And that was no more than that. It was really that. And I'm just really pleased with how it came out as a chance to do some things we don't ordinarily get to do. But, still just being a rock band, a rock band being a rock band.
Yeah, and George's solo on Ordinary World is fantastic. It's like this metal solo in front of a great pop song. Anyway,
Right.
On that, folks, Black Swan, Shake the World, which I'm going to hold up here. Hopefully we can see it there. Ooh, there we go. Black Swan, Shake the World. Absolutely the best album of 2020. I do have the Japanese version that has the bonus track, which is Make It There, the acoustic remix. And there you go. Congratulations, and we'll do this again next year for End Machine.
Yeah, let's hope so.
End Machine 2.
I'm sure we'll talk in April when End Machine comes out. But yes, thank you, Mitch. I really do appreciate that. Like I say, that's actually a big honor, and we appreciate it.
Absolutely, anytime. And and of course, let me see here. Oh no, Mayor Applebaum, he did End Machine, right? Did he do this one? Did he master this one?
Black Swan, yes, he did.
Yeah, I love Mayor. He's another fucking master.
Yeah,
he's
great. Yeah, he's fabulous.
Yeah, when I did my my Kiss tribute, which raised money back in 2013, Mayor mastered some of it.
Oh yeah,
so,
I'm sure he's very gifted and a good guy.
Good guy, all of them. There we go. On that, as we say in Montreal, merci beaucoup. Thank you so much. We'll do this again soon.
Thank you, Mitch. Appreciate it. Keep the torch.
Keep the metal flame flag whatever.
Yeah. Whatever it is, keep doing it.
Just that's it. There you go. Thank you, sir.
Thanks,
Always a pleasure.
Bye-bye.
All right, let me